Well, market expert Hemang Jani joins in now to talk about some stocks that are in focus. Hemang, hi, good morning and thanks for joining in. I wanted your thoughts first on Avenue Supermarts because good set of numbers coming in. The revenue growth of almost 20%, store addition is up 13%, and this has been a pretty competitive market. Despite that, they're holding steady. What do you do with this stock now?
Good morning, Sonal. Thank you for having me. Clearly, if you look at the business update on most parameters, it is looking quite impressive. And the key takeaway as far as Avenue Supermart is concerned is that the growth in revenue per square feet has seen revival in the last 3 to 4 quarters, with each quarter it's growing by about 4 to 6%. Also, the way the company has gone about expanding the product categories, that has started yielding them good results. And the store expansion drive is very much continuing. So we have a positive view on Avenue Supermart with the price target of almost about 44.90.
Okay, that's on 44.90 you said. Okay, got it. I just wanted your thoughts on this entire pipe industry because my colleague Hormuz was just talking about that Goldman Sachs report which has initiated coverage on various stocks including Astral, and there's a huge underlying demand in the real estate sector. But do you think this entire space has played out, or is there more to go? And what would your top picks be here?
So now when you look at the building materials and specifically pipe, I think there is a long way to go given the kind of support that is being given both by the government and the private players. And, key players are very few. So you have maybe Astral Prints and maybe Phenolex, etc. So I think given the size of the opportunity and limited corporate players, there is going to be a big runway of growth for some of them. So Astral is something that we have been liking a lot, and we think that given the positioning that it has and distribution strength, there can be a very good 18-20% kind of a CAGR story over there.
Okay, hi Hemang, good morning and good to see you. When there were a lot of banks and financial institutions that came out with their quarterly updates. Anyone that stood out for you? You had L&T Finance, you had Poonawalla, you have AU Small Finance Bank that's now flashing on the screen. Any of these ones stood out for you?
Still, L&T Finance and Poonawalla both were good. Particularly L&T Finance, if you look at the retail loan growth was 31%. The retail mix also has expanded to almost about 94%. So that is something that we've been liking. Also, Poonawalla continues to report a very strong AUM growth, 54%. And with asset quality being under 1%, the net NPA, there is a sense that the company will sustain this kind of a growth across its business vertical. So both the stocks we have a positive outlook.
Hemang, commodities and the move that we're seeing, it may be tactical, but when these moves happen, they are sharp. So metals, there is a bit of a lift which is showing up. Will we see some of that coming through for names like ONGC, etc. as well? And on the oil side, because oil is also now closer to 90 than it has been over the last couple of months.
Seen a bit of a cool off when the mid-March, end March, we had seen the PSU as a sector cooling off. Also the fact that the crude oil price was low at that point. Now we've seen revival oil price, and we do think that the re-rating which has started for some of these oil PSUs may continue, and ONGC still continues to look quite attractive in terms of valuations. There is a good amount of production growth. The pricing, there is going to be a little bit of more comfort because of the way the government has gone about giving them pricing both for crude and gas. So ONGC continues to be one of the better placed companies, particularly in the current environment where crude oil prices are shooting up.
Okay, all right. What about Vedanta? Hemang, that's always a tricky one out there with regard to what the promoter does next. But if you want to play silver, there's only one company that has silver play, a direct silver play out here. That's Hindustan Zinc. The float, though, is very limited over there. Only 2.5% is there in the market because, the promoter as well as Government of India has 95-96% in the company. What's your view on Vedanta? Because if commodities are firing, aluminium, zinc, silver, Vedanta has exposure to all of them, including crude. Your view on the stock, would you take the plunge or would you say, no, I'd rather stay away. I've burnt my hands in the past. I don't want to get into this one.
I think, Nigel, it would be good to have some exposure to Vedanta, though it has run up a bit, because, the way the company has gone about, announcing the demerger, the alumina, the silver, and certain base metal prices, the way they've shot up, there's a major capex that the company has undertaken. I think the only negative could be that one of their key personnel who was overseeing this entire, demerger related activity has resigned. So I don't know how the market is going to take it, but purely on the basis of the current base metal pricing and the demerger that the company has announced, there is a positive view on Vedanta, and we think that it is still attractively valued at maybe about 8-9 times price to earning, with a lot of asset-based re-rating which is in store for them.
Hemang, I wanted to chat with you about some of these auto names, because what we are noticing is that there is a big slowdown underway in the electric vehicle space, especially after what Tesla announced a couple of days ago, with a steep fall of 9% in their sales in Q1. And even back home, EV penetration has been very low, whether you talk about passenger vehicles or even two-wheelers. What do you do with some of these names, like say an M&M, a Tata Motors, a TVS Motor?
Sonia, I think the monthly numbers that we had seen were not that encouraging, barring maybe one or two names. And as far as EV is concerned, I think very early days, and the policy announcement has just happened, and we really have to see what kind of investment, what kind of companies we get. But overall, purely from a technical point of view, with quarterly numbers in mind, we do think that names like Mahindra, Tata Motors, and to some extent Hero Motors should report a reasonably good set of numbers, given the monthly run rate which was there, and on the margin side also, we will have certain degree of stability because the metal prices have started shooting up only now. So purely from quarterly perspective, I think these are the 2 or 3 names that we are positive.
Okay, well, that's the view coming in on the auto names as things stand right now.